Are you planning to sell your home and looking for straight answers to stage your home both efficiently and with your own furnishings? Well, you're probably researching solutions to solve specific issues, and it can be tricky to decide what's worth the effort to do and what is and isn't a problem. I understand. I've seen it all in my 15 years of selling homes as an experienced listing specialist. And by the end of this video, I promise you're going to have a clearer perspective about what to do about staging. We're going to filter the noise and finally end the confusion. Not all staging is done right, and it has to be effective. And by the way, good for you for researching the best ways to optimize the sale of your home. I love it, and I'm happy to help. Please stick around because later in this video, I'll share the biggest advice about staging on your own. This is important. When I started doing this with my sellers years ago, I never looked back. It saves countless hours, stress, and money for real. So stick around. Okay, before we discuss staging room by room, let's talk about concepts that apply everywhere in your home. Decluttering is the first step that makes meaningful staging possible, right? I know you've heard it. Decluttering, decluttering, blah, blah, blah. If you haven't seen my decluttering video, though, I recommend you give it a watch after this. The link is below. It's packed with practical solutions to declutter while you're both selling and moving. It's good stuff. Okay, here we go on staging. It's time to rewire our thoughts. We need to see our precious home differently when it's time to sell. The way we live in our homes is completely different from how we need to market a property. The name of the game in selling a property is removing objections before buyers can even form them. Negative details need to be addressed, like repairs that may have been put off, an old water stain in the ceiling from a prior leak. And it doesn't matter if that leak was repaired 5 years ago. Buyers immediately go to the worst case scenarios that caused that leak. We all have vast imaginations, right? If you don't have the time or know-how to address repairs, I have trusted handymen in the Richmond metro area to recommend from my concierge list. They'll go through your honey-do list, no problem. If you're not sure which repairs need addressing, I'll talk about answers to that later. First off, depersonalizing your home is an important staging principle that allows buyers to envision themselves living there, right? Remove personal photos, religious items, political statements, flags, anything with eyes, names, or dates. Let the buyers see themselves in the home and not you. Always keep in mind that you're not selling your home, you're selling a product. You're not selling your home, you're selling a product, and neutrality distracts no one. Okay, let's talk about a deep clean. I'm not talking about your regular weekend tidy up here and there. I mean, Martha Stewart is visiting with white gloves kind of clean. Baseboards, ceiling fans, inside cabinets, bathroom vents, behind toilets, all of it. I feel it's best to hire a professional cleaning team to really get into it. They see and smell things that we may get accustomed to and overlook. I have trusted cleaners to recommend an RVA from my concierge list. They go through a house like a tornado. It's crazy. Also, sparkling clean windows are critical. And here's something that I've always recommended that people don't often do. Remove the screens and store them away until the listing pictures are taken. It's amazing how much better the photos look without them. I want your house to shine online. While we're on the window topic, let's talk window treatments. They should frame the windows and not cover them. We want to bring in as much natural light as possible and show off great views. I understand that there may be some views that are not so great, so sheer curtains do a good job of filtering those views, but still let the natural light in. If your curtains are heavy, dated, or very taste specific, consider removing them entirely or replacing them with simple neutral panels. You will not believe how open an area a room will become without large, heavy drapes. And if you're unsure what to remove, replace, or leave alone, I'm going to talk about answers to that later. Now to paint. Everyone talks about it, and I'm going to give you my take. No one wants to repaint, but please understand, neutral walls are your best friend when selling, and fresh paint is like money in a can. It is so impactful. Every real estate pro has their favorite wall color for staging, but I have to say one color tone doesn't fit every type of home. A clean white works great for contemporary homes, but if you have a period home in Richmond with gorgeous wood details, a warmer color accentuates those details nicely. And if that is what you have, you are in great shape. If you're unsure which is the best paint color to use, or if you really need to paint at all, I'm going to talk about answers to that later. Carpeting can be tricky depending on its condition. I tell my clients that carpeting is like real estate underwear. So, carpet cleaning is an essential staging element that can't be overlooked. For carpets that are tired and yucky, I recommend replacing them, especially in key areas like the living room or the primary bedroom. It pays off because the name of the game in selling a property is to remove objections from the eyes of the buyer. It's best to replace worn carpets now than wait for bad buyer feedback, or even worse, have your home get stale on the market. If you're not sure if you can get away with the current state of your carpeting, I'll talk about answers to that later. Area rugs are powerful staging tools that define space. They add warmth and they create a designer look. Area rugs work beautifully in open floor plans and outdoor spaces and instantly transform those areas into inviting rooms. It's important to use appropriately sized rugs in neutral patterns. Undersized rugs make spaces feel smaller, while suitably scaled ones give a nice, open, spacious feel. Oh, don't worry about taking notes. You can download my staging guideline and checklist that I've developed over the years. I give it to my seller clients, but you can click the link below to get it immediately for free. It's a comprehensive resource worth downloading. Now, updating outdated lighting fixtures is one of the most cost-effective staging improvements you can make. It's worth it to replace those dated contractor lights, the movie set vanity lights in the bathrooms. Replace those with current options. There are so many reasonable styles available to instantly modernize your home, and it gives a well-maintained vibe in the house. If you're unsure which styles are the best fit for the various areas in your home, I'm going to talk about answers to that later. Next is the type of light bulbs to use. This is huge and it's so often overlooked. The temperature of light bulbs matter more than you think. Blue tinted LED bulbs give off a hospital waiting room feeling, and we don't want that. Aim for the warm white LED bulbs around the 2700 to 3000 Kelvin range. It gives off a warm, inviting glow that photographs beautifully, and it makes the space feel welcoming. If you're used to shopping for light bulb by wattage, just look for the K on the box between 2700 and 3000. You'll be in good shape. And please make sure all of the bulbs in a fixture or ceiling match. Three different color temperatures and one ceiling fan doesn't exactly instill confidence that things in the house are on the up and up, right? Let's talk storage. Here's a universal truth about staging. Buyers are obsessed with storage, and they will open every closet, every cabinet, and every drawer, I promise you. So here's the guideline. Everything should be at 70% capacity. That means your closets, your pantry, your bathroom vanity, everything should look like there's room to spare. Because if the storage is full to the max, buyers are going to think, my stuff's not going to fit here either. Okay, before I start talking about specific rooms, here are thoughts to have top of mind. Always use white linens. White towels and bedding create a nice, fresh, clean look. Think hotel, not home. Create a feeling of an upscale, impersonal space. Always use neutral colors. Neutral colors appeal to the widest range of buyers. And work more with textures rather than pops of color. When in doubt, take it out. Remove personal items, excess furniture, and clutter. And my favorite is less is more. Small amounts of decor create a more spacious feeling. Which brings me to the rule of three. No more than 3 decorative items on any surface. Less decor is more. Next is the 3-foot rule. Ensure at least 3 feet of walking space around furniture. Okay, artwork. Choose oversized art rather than undersized pieces that are scattered about on the wall. Large artwork makes more of an impact than many small pieces. And when you hang artwork, the middle of the piece should be about 60 inches from the floor. I have a lot more essential staging mantras, but don't worry about writing anything down. Just download my comprehensive guideline and checklist for free. The link is below, and I'm happy to help. Okay, let's start with the kitchen because kitchens sell houses, full stop. This is especially true in Richmond, where we have such a foodie and social culture. In many cases, the kitchen can make or break the sale for buyers. Extra time and effort in the kitchen is well spent, I promise. First, you're going to need to clear countertops. I mean, clear them entirely. The coffee machine, that can maybe stay if it's pretty, but the blender, the toaster, the air fryer, the collection of olive oils, the cutting boards, they all must live elsewhere. You want to showcase vast counter space. You can add a couple of little small things like a set of cookbooks in the corner, and I'll talk about getting more suggestions for that in a bit. Let's open up your cabinets and take about 30% of what's in there. As I mentioned before, everything should be at about 70% capacity, and buyers will open your cabinets to check for enough space. Now, how about your refrigerator? People don't talk about that much, but you do need to stage inside the refrigerator. Buyers will absolutely look in there, and if it's overstuffed, it can be off-putting. So let's keep it clean, organized, and no more than 70% capacity as well. Okay, clear out the sink area. So no sponges, no brushes, no dish and hand soap, unless they're in appealing dispensers. Next, let's set the scene for the dining room for gatherings. This is an area that's making a major comeback. After years of open concept living, buyers are rediscovering the charm of a dedicated dining space. And they're looking for it in our historic Richmond homes. But first things first, most of us use the dining area for pretty much everything but dining. It's time to reclaim it for its original purpose. Buyers will want to see a dining room that looks like, well, a dining room. So the table is your centerpiece here. If yours is scratched or dated, cover it with a white tablecloth. If it's overwhelmingly large for the space, consider removing the extension leaf if it has one, or temporarily replace it with something more appropriate. Place settings bring in the tone of the room. You don't need a full formal table setting, but just a simple, elegant arrangement of placemats, plates or chargers, and folded napkins. They create a nice aspirational vignette, right? It helps buyers envision entertaining in the space. This is something us Richmonders love to do, right? If you have a china cabinet or hutch, edit ruthlessly. Leave only a few pieces with plenty of negative space around them. Or it could be a huge improvement to remove the hutch for a spacious feel in the room. If you're unsure what to edit or how to stage the table for the room, I'll talk about recommendations for that later. Now for the living room, it needs to tell a story, specifically the story of imagine how amazing your life's going to be when you live here. So furniture placement is critical. Don't push everything against the walls. That's the biggest mistake I see. Flow your furniture to create conversational areas. And if your room is small, less is more. Remove bulky pieces that make the space feel cramped. As with all rooms, a very neutral palette is the way to go. If you have bookshelves, they should be about 50% books, 25% decorative items, and 25% empty space. And organizing books by size and color give a nice clean look. Those little touches, they make a huge difference in photos and in person. Okay, bathrooms. They can make or break a sale too. This is especially true in older homes where bathrooms might be smaller or less updated than newer builds. If you have dated tiles with, let's say, a dusty rose color, think about reglazing them to a white for a fresh look. I love reglazing. It's such a cost-effective solution that can transform your space without the hassle of a full renovation. It's a quick process and it's a smart way to increase your home's value while saving time and money. I have trusted reglazing pros to recommend for my concierge list in Richmond. They are quick and clean. If you're unsure if that effort is the best way to go on your house specifically, I'll talk about recommendations for that later. Now, a minimalist approach works best in a bathroom for staging. A nice little soap dish or dispenser, and a small decorative element like a plant or a candle. That's all you need. And also, you need to temporarily store your bath mats. Bathrooms without those mats photograph much better and make the space appear larger. Also, please hide the toilet brush out of sight. No one wants to see it because it's a yucky look. Okay, fresh white towels make a wonderful impression. The white ones can be a worthwhile investment as they create a coveted spa-like atmosphere. They add a touch of class and luxury that's so impactful. I feel they're so important that I have them in my emergency bathroom staging box. If your bathroom is really dated, but a full renovation just isn't practical, focus on small, high impact updates. A low cost investment into items like a new shower curtain, towel bar, updated light fixture, fresh caulking around the tub, they all can work miracles. And lastly, one last tip, the toilet lid needs to be closed for photos and showings. It's necessary for aesthetics. But in the practice of feng shui, a closed toilet seat prevents energy and wealth from being flushed away. So I guess it's prudent to close that lid to stay out of harm's way. The primary bedroom is the second most important room when selling. It should feel like a boutique hotel room, clean and luxurious. Start with the bed. It should be the star of the show. Invest in a neutral bedding set if yours is not. It's a reasonable investment that you can use in your new home. White bedding with textured throw pillows creates a hotel luxury look that buyers love. Now, nightstands should be almost empty. A lamp, maybe a book, and that's it. Now, we have such a mix of historic and newer homes in Richmond, and the bedroom closets can vary a lot in size. If you have a smaller closet, it's even more important to clear it out. Leave only seasonal clothes and organize by color. It's a small detail that makes a huge visual impact. For the primary bathroom, it should give off the spa-like vibes I discussed earlier in the other bathrooms. Now, another area that has become important is showcasing a flexible space. With remote work becoming more common, especially in Richmond's growing tech and business sectors, a well-staged home office can be a major selling point. First, decide what story is this room telling? Is it a dedicated office, a guest room slash office combination? Whatever it is, make it clear and purposeful. Keep the office desk clean and organized with minimal items, maybe a laptop, a notebook, and a stylish desk lamp. Now, if you have built-in shelving, this is your time to showcase it with a mix of books and decorative items. But remember, less is more. So each shelf should have a little bit of empty space. Let's go outside. Don't overlook your outdoor areas when staging. They're valuable bonus rooms that significantly impact appeal. The goal is to focus on an area and make it marvelous. Create inviting conversation areas with clean, well-arranged furniture that suggests relaxation and entertainment. An outdoor rug can define a space while strategic potted plants add some life and color. Small touches like a dining setup or a fire pit area, that helps buyers envision enjoying themselves in this oasis that you've created. If you'd like more insight on curb appeal and prepping your home's exterior, I recommend watching my curb appeal video. I show a ton of before and after transformations, and the content is pretty insightful. The link is also below. And if you're finding this video helpful, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button and share it with people who may benefit from this information. It really helps others find this content when they're feeling overwhelmed about staging. Okay, I want to touch on something that typically isn't apparent. Everyone thinks about how their home looks. Some think about how it smells, but almost no one considers the other senses, and they matter. Think about sound. Richmond can have ambient noise depending on where you live, whether it's a pleasant urban hum of Carytown or the occasional train in Churchill. Consider having soft music playing during the showings to create an atmosphere. Now think about touch. Make sure textiles are inviting, soft throw blankets, plush towels, smooth countertops. Buyers touch things, even when they shouldn't. Think about taste. No, I'm not saying to leave out cookies, but having a beautiful bowl of fresh seasonal fruit in the kitchen creates a subtle taste association. And lastly, think about smell. Skip the heavy plug-ins and candles. They're associated with covering up bad smells. Instead, use a light natural essence like citrus, herbs, or a light vanilla, just a hint of it. In Richmond's humid summers, freshness is key, and ideally a clean house with neutral odors, that's the good bet. I hope you're finding this information helpful, but let's admit that there's no one video or how-to book to fully address all the nuances specific to your home. I bet you're a lot like me and uncover even more questions that I need to address when I start researching and looking into things. And this is what leads me to my biggest staging advice I mentioned earlier. I've used this process with my sellers for years as a listing specialist. People think that professional stagers cost a fortune and are only for empty houses. But when I list a home, I immediately bring in a professional stager to consult with my sellers. It's part of my listing service at no cost to the seller. The professional stager will make an assessment and offer specific recommendations, and my sellers receive a customized game plan to efficiently prep the home with their own furnishings. So, how would you feel if you didn't have to figure out very specific questions about the nuances of your home? I bet if you watch 1,000 more videos, you may still be asking yourself, do the lighting fixtures really need replacing? Or what type of lighting fixture do I need that will match my house? Does the size of the area rug work for my room? Do I need fresh paint? And if I do, what color will work for my style of house? How about, can I get away with the condition of my carpets? Or is my furniture placed appropriately for each room? What things need to be edited? And lastly, what am I overlooking? It will all be spelled out for you, and you'll be using the contents in your home. You can feel confident that your house will be properly positioned against any competing properties in the area. And honestly, every home is different. Staging that works in a Ginter Park Victorian is different from what works in a newer build in Short Pump or a ranch in Cedarhurst. So, with that said, lean into the professional who knows best how to position your home amongst like properties. And of course, I contribute with recommendations as well because we see it all in this market. So, consulting with a professional stager is my biggest recommendation because I don't want you to spend another nickel more where you don't need to, or waste another minute of your precious time figuring out staging for your unique situations. Save that stress for another day, okay? Now, I service RVA. That's the Richmond metro area. But if you're watching from somewhere else and feeling stuck about staging, don't worry, I've got you covered too. I work with like minded realtors across the country who are diligent, communicate, and they get things done. They can be a huge resource for you and would bring in a stager to consult with you too. Not many listing agents offer this as part of their listing service, but the professional ones do. I can connect you with a few of them in your area, and there's a link below if you'd like to inquire about a referral. And please drop a comment below if you've had experience with professional staging consultations. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. I read every comment, and others can learn from your experience as well. We all learn from each other, right? Okay, this next video has even more insight on selling your home. I'm Michael Hitz, listing specialist with Joyner Fine Properties in Richmond, Virginia. Knowledge equals confidence, and I want that for you.